श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah, Girish Kunnath. So we will chant from 58.
Okay.
Yada samharate chayam
यदा संहरते चायं
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते
निराहारस्य देहिनः
निराहारस्य देहिनः
रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य
रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य
परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते
परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय
पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः
पुरुषस्य विपच्चितः
Indriyani pramathini.
इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि
Haranti prasabham manaha.
हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः
We are going to do the next verse today. Tani sarvani
तानि सर्वाणि
samyamya
संयम्य
yukta asita
युक्त आसीत
matparaha
मत्परः
vashehi
वशे हि
yasyendriyani
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna
तस्य प्रज्ञा
pratisthita.
प्रतिष्ठिता
Tani sarvani samyamya
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yukta asita matparaha
युक्त आसीत मत्परः
vashehi yasyendriyani
वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratisthita.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
So, from verse number 59, Krishna has been talking about this mastery of one's sense pursuits. So, yada samharate chayam, etc. So, giving the example of that tortoise, and emphasizing how this person, about whom Arjuna asked about, that person is never gets lost in sense pursuits. In fact, the person is with oneself, atmani eva atmana tushtaha, happy being oneself, and no object in this world can pull him away. This is the idea given so far. And for that, we have a story also. I don't know how many of you have heard this. So there is a Maharshi. I forget the names now, but he's decided, I'm going to meditate and all that, and he's a jnani, no doubt. And then there comes a deer, a beautiful deer, a baby deer. You have to imagine all this, and it comes and looks at you like this. And Rishi means what? You have to imagine a setting. It's all a forest, and a baby deer comes to you, and every day it comes to this Rishi. And whenever the Rishi is meditating, the baby deer also is sitting next to you. And now you can make a little small serial out of this and dramatize the whole thing. So then it seems the Rishi felt that this deer, no, I need to do something. I have to. So he started taking care of this deer, small deer, and then it grew big, etc. The story goes. And then one fine day, the deer did not return. By the evening, he waited. He did not return. So he went after this deer. He looked around and he didn't find it. And so he lost sleep over this. So the story continues next Janma and all that. Our stories don't stop just like that. They will keep going on Janma after Janma, right? So the story goes. And then later on, because of this attachment to the deer, he's born again. Like that, the story goes. And then finally, he's released, etc. The story goes like that. So this person, sthita prajnaha, is never carried away by anything. The person will have compassion, of course, 100% compassion, unconditional love is there, all that is there. But asya rasaha api param drishtva na nivartate. So whatever latent desires that are there, they are all glory. The glory of the sthita prajnaha but never going to victimize that person. This we saw before. Okay. So verse number 60. Yatataha api. So that even though that person who is vipaschit, who sees everything clearly, who knows what's what, who knows the nature of Atma and the nature of the world, Ishvara, everything that person knows, and yatataha, making an effort to strengthen that knowledge. Still, hey Kaunteya, this indriyani, pramadhini, these sense organs can forcibly victimize the mind. That we saw. So then what is the solution to that? That is being addressed by Krishna in the next shloka. So that rasa is there. How do you neutralize that rasa? Okay, that is the question. So to neutralize the rasa, one must gain this sthita prajnatvam. That word that you used, oh Arjuna, that you have to get steady with this knowledge. The knowledge has to be firm. And how do you do that? Well, you have to contemplate on what is there in this world, that is Brahma, which is Atma. You have to contemplate on that. This is what is being said here in this next shloka, which we just chanted. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. This is what he says here. So the gist of this shloka is this. Tani sarvani samyamya. Tani indriyani. Within brackets you can put indriyani. Those senses, sense organs. Samyamya. Sanyama. So this yama, niyama, etc. This yama word is very important for all of us. And in yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So yama, niyama. Ashtanga yoga. Very important. Yama, niyama. So to do and not to be done, etc. But here samyama means yama, mastery, control sometimes they say, and mastery of one's sense organs. And Swamiji never uses the word control because it can be, as we discussed in the last class, can be perceived as some kind of suppression. And we saw clearly suppression, it will become suppression if you don't know what this is all about. It will not be suppression. It is withdrawal if you know the truth. If all your practices are backed by knowledge, then it cannot be suppression. So, mastery of the sense organs, and then yukta asita matparaha. And when the person sits in contemplation of me, matparaha, committed to me, that's a literal meaning of the word matparaha. Mat. Aham, mama. So the mat comes. One who is committed to me. This is the word Krishna is using. And one who sits in contemplation of me, then tasya prajna pratishtita. That is the gist of this shloka. Okay. Contemplation of me means what? Me means, now you have to interpret what this is. Sit in contemplation of me means I am Krishna. So you have to contemplate on me. That is the meaning. That's a literal meaning of matparaha. Or Shankara says, me means Ishvara, not Krishnavatara, like that Shankara says. So you see, you need people, you need acharyas. That's why sampradaya is so important. Otherwise, we can't simply sit by ourselves and understand all this. And that's why there can be one can start some Krishna consciousness, right? And they will say, see, Krishna said matparaha. Therefore, it's Krishna consciousness. No, anybody's consciousness and all is not enough. It's all Krishna consciousness. And Swamiji would make make a point to tell us all these things, because we have to kind of we need to get a complete picture of what's what. And so he talks about this book is called Bhagavad Gita as it is. And see, I don't filter anything out. So whatever I remember of what I heard from Swamiji, I just tell it out. So Bhagavad Gita as it is. And then he asked the question, wait, Bhagavad Gita as it is, okay? As it is. So you open that book. What will you see? What should you see in that book? You should see Sanskrit verses, Sanskrit slokas, because Krishna said, Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita jhayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste sulpajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. This is what Krishna said. So this is what should be there in the book. But you look at that book, there is pages and pages of explanation there. Then how can it be Bhagavad Gita as it is? If the book was titled Bhagavad Gita as I see it, then it's perfect. That perfect title for a book. Anybody can talk about Bhagavad Gita, and as I see it, this is what it is. And this is what our acharyas have said, this is what he has said, they have said, and this is perfect. But as it is means you can't have a commentary. Commentary cannot be there. Even Shankara doesn't say Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay. So why we have to, so that therefore we have to understand all that. So committed to me, Shankara says Ishwaraha, Matparaha, Ishwaraparaha. And so advised to contemplate upon that Ishvara, which is not different from Atma. That Ishvara, which is Sarva Prakashaha, that is self-shining, Swaprakashaha, which is Purnaha. Like that. That is the contemplation that is to be done. That Ishvara, that Atma, that is the truth of everything. Satyam, that is Satyam, truth of everything. Non-negatable. Even Avatara is negatable. Avatara also came, Avatara goes away. If Avatara is Satyam, then the Avatara should continue. Should have been there, that was never born, should never die. So Avatara also cannot be taken as Paramarthika Satyam, absolutely true. And so later on in 4th chapter, Krishna will talk about Avatara. So I come, like that and all he talks. So very interesting. Krishna is all, he makes very bold statements, not like Rama, constantly being dharmic, I want to follow dharma, I won't do this, I will do that, and then suffers from morning to evening, keeps on suffering. So Krishna is, so you should join Krishna group, we'll give you, this is the way life should be led. All this Shiva especially, how can you constantly sitting in meditation and ice cold Himalayas, and it's all boring stuff. So Krishna, life means you have to be alive with Krishna. And then you can dance with him in Golok Vrindavan also. That also a gift we will give you. So, contemplate on me, Matparaha. And so here, contemplation, we will understand this better as we study. So when in that story where Maitreyi asks Yajnavalkya, what is it you are saying you are giving up all this entire kingdom, and where are you going? And so this discussion happens between Maitreyi and Yajnavalkya, the king and the queen. The king is teaching the queen. And so in that discussion, Yajnavalkya says, Atma va are e Maitreyi, Atma drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididyasitavyaha. Like that he makes a statement. Sistavya, kartavya. So it must be done. That must, he uses the word must there. So drashtavyaha, Atma must be seen. Means Atma must be known. So in Sanskrit, there are two verbs that keep occurring in the Bhagavad Gita. The verb to see and the verb to go. So these two verbs also have the meaning of to know. So I see. Somebody says something and you say, I see. I see means what? You see means I see it in my mind. I understood what you said. That is the meaning. And going also in Sanskrit means that. Going. So did it enter your mind? So did what I said enter your mind? Did it go into your mind? So yeah, it went. Means I understood it. So therefore there also Yajnavalkya says drashtavyaha, must be understood. How it must be, and then what? How do you understand it? Shrotavyaha, must be heard, must be listened to, because that's how the subject matter is. They don't say read and all that. Of course, those days I don't know what kind of books they had. Did they have books? This we don't have any idea. So many thousands of years ago, but they did write, in palm leaves and all that. So surely they had some ways to read this, etc., keep it preserved, so forth. So there is somebody told me this. They say writing hieroglyphics, Egyptian and all that, we've read it in history, and it started so many 3000 BCE or whatever. But that person told me, if writing started only 4000, 5000 years ago, how come Ganesha is shown with palm leaf in his hand and he's writing? This story, how do you have? Like that, he asked me. That professor from Hyderabad, she asked me this question. And I was so impressed by that question. Because that is some evidence that we should look into. The writing was there for a long time. And we just have to investigate that. And so anyway, they say don't read and all. They never in our Shastram say read the Shastram. Shravanam Kuru, listen to it. Okay, Shrotavyaha, must be heard. Atma must be heard about. Then what? Mantavyaha. So Mananam Kartavyaha. It must be mulled over. You have to think through. Doubts have to be cleared. Mananam Kartavyaha. So Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. He uses the word Nididhyasana. Okay, I heard it. I got the idea. Now I have some doubts. I need to clear those doubts, which happens in our classes. And as Swamiji would say, Shankara himself will raise the doubts and will answer, clarify. And of course, Q&A is always there. So, Mananam Kartavyaha. And then what? Nididhyasitavyaha. Once the truth is understood, then there is something called Viparita Bhavana. I have understood it, but why do I feel so small? Why? What happened? Why this knowledge, why it does not manifest in me? Why does this fear come? Why do I feel insecure? That is because that pravaha is there. Because it's a habitual error. And so that momentum. Now you have to think about the example of how this homeless person, the beggar, won a lottery of so many millions of rupees, crores of rupees. And the fellow cannot, when evening time hunger strikes, he goes out to beg in the street. Even though he's living in a big bungalow. This is, how do you neutralize? How does he get back on track? He has to sit and meditate. I am a millionaire. 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 No, I don't need to go out for food. No, I have people who are cooking for me. No, I don't have to go. This is called Nididhyasana. So, Nididhyasanam Kartavyaha. One has to remind oneself about this vision constantly. And so, we have in our Shastram. So we use the words that we have already heard about. Aham akarta, aham abhokta. I am not a doer. I am not an experiencer. Aham purnaha. I am full. I don't lack anything. I don't lack anything. Even though I don't know what I'm going to eat, whether I'll have food tomorrow or not, I don't know. Still, I am full. Aham purnaha. This is the beauty of this Shastram. See how powerful it is. Aham asangaha. I am uninvolved. Nothing can affect me. So this is a type of meditation, in other words. So we are meditating. I know every so often we've started meditating. And so we're doing simple meditations. But these kinds of meditations called Nididhyasanam will come afterwards, bit advanced. Because that is done when we have understood the reality. Then Nididhyasanam makes a lot of sense. So, aham anandaha, aham ananda swarupaha. So I am the embodiment of Ananda. My nature is Ananda. This is meditation. And it is done after the subject matter is understood. Generally. Can be done even before. But before, if it is done, then it is an attitude. Aham purnaha. Shastram says I am purnaha. Shastram says I am purnaha. I am purnaha. I am complete. I lack nothing. Afterwards, if you do, then what? Aham purnaha. I understand that I am purna. I know I am purna. Not because Shastram says, yes, Shastram said it, but now it is me. I have understood it. I owned it up. Like that. This is called Nididhyasana. Okay. So only by that the rasas will completely go away. That longing, that pining that is there will completely go away. That is the message here of Sri Krishna. So let us look at this shloka. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. That is one sentence. You can take that as one sentence. So yuktaha, that's the noun here, that's the subject. Yuktaha, may the one who is endowed with discernment, viveka, yuktaha, may the one who is endowed with viveka, the viveki, kama, keeping the sense organs in one's hands. Tani indriyani, sarvani indriyani samyamya, keeping one's sense organs in one's hands, means having mastered oneself, one's sense organs, comma, sit in contemplation of me. So it's asita, may one sit, and matparaha, in contemplation of me. So sit in contemplation of me, full stop. For the one who has all sense organs under one's control, one's mastery, vashehi yasya indriyani. That is the portion. For the one who has all sense organs under one's control, comma, tasya prajna pratishtita. The knowledge is well established. Knowledge is firm. Knowledge is steady. Steadiness of knowledge has to be talked about because our idea of the world, our idea of life, our idea about ourselves is completely different. And that different idea is what everybody believes in. And so that's why this knowledge being so important, one has to. Krishna talks about the steadiness of knowledge. It's not something that's believed. It is not something that comes and goes. It's firm. It is clear knowledge. The knowledge is as clear as daylight. as bright as daylight. So let me read this translation once again. May one who is endowed with discernment, viveka, comma, keeping all the sense organs in one's hands, comma, sit in contemplation of me. Full stop. For the one who has all sense organs under control, comma, the knowledge is well established. So you can see there is a repetition. Tani indriyani sarvani samyamya means the same as the first half of the second line. Vashehi yasya indriyani means the same thing. So important. So that's why Bhagavan spent so much time on this. Because first reason why this sense pursuit is talked about so much, well, likes and dislikes, which imply sense pursuit. I like this, I don't like this. My life can be driven by likes and dislikes, correct? I do it because I like it. I don't do it because I don't like it. I don't want it because I don't like it. This is our life. The entire autobiography can be written in this one line, correct? But then, where is dharma? I like, therefore I do it means. So this is how I said this battle between the mother and son starts from day one. And don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And the child doesn't know why the mom is just, why I want it, I don't know, you should not have it. So finally, this dharma is so important. And so the Shastram says, let dharma lead my life. Let dharma guide me. Let dharma be the guiding light, not my likes and dislikes. Then once I am committed to dharma, then the likes and dharma will coincide. Previously, I did not like to do, even though it is to be done. Now, all the to be done, I like to do also. Then there is no conflict. What I like to do and what must be done are identical. So that is one reason. One reason why so much time is spent on this sense pursuits. Second reason is, sense pursuit means what? Pursuit of an object that is out there, that is outside of me. Every object in this world. And that means what? It means I'm going after something. I think that something is going to make me secure. That means I'm moving away from myself. My attention is away from myself. Every sense pursuit takes my attention away from myself. Whereas Shastra wants us to pay attention to ourselves. Matparaha. Contemplate on me, on Atma. Therefore, also this sense pursuit is talked about to bring our attention back to us, back to ourselves. So Mundaka Upanishad says that Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan. So having examined this life, this world of cause and effect, that person Avritta Chakshuhu Amridatvam Ichan. So Avritta Chakshushu, it says literally like that. The Upanishad says, turns his eyes inward. Avritta Chakshu. And instead of focusing on things outside, the person focuses on himself, person. Beautiful. Amridatvam Ichan. Seeking moksha, that person turns inward. That is how it is said. So this indriyaha, indriyani, indriyarthani, all this will come periodically. Krishna will remind Arjuna. So Arjuna wanted to just sit and contemplate, run away. And here Krishna is challenging him. If you want to contemplate, then this is what it is, my dear. You have to do some prep work. And so very interesting teaching in a battlefield, how it's possible. Okay. So until okay, so we are going to now chant the next shloka. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Okay, who would like to chant? Yeah, Sunita, Chivendra. ध्यायतो
ध्यायतो
विषयान् पुंसः
विषयान् पुंसः
संगस्तेषु
संगस्तेषु
उपजायते
उपजायते
संगात्
संगात्
संजायते कामः
संजायते कामः
कामात्
कामात्
क्रोधोऽभिजायते
क्रोधोऽभिजायते
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः
संगस्तेषूपजायते
संगस्तेषूपजायते
संगात् संजायते कामः
संगात् संजायते कामः
कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते
कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते.
So this shloka and the next shloka also, they go together. So we're going to chant number 63 also. Krodhat
क्रोधात्
bhavati sammohaha
भवति सम्मोहः
sammohat
सम्मोहात्
smriti vibhramaha
स्मृतिविभ्रमः
smriti bhramshat
स्मृतिभ्रंशात्
buddhinashaha
बुद्धिनाशः
buddhinashat
बुद्धिनाशात्
pranashyati.
प्रणश्यति.
So let's repeat that again. Dhyayat, I think that we did. Okay. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha.
सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha.
स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः
Buddhinashat pranashyati.
बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
Yeah. So, a popular set of verses which in which Krishna talks about the psychology of desire. Psychology of desire. How desire originates and what happens if I don't think through, what happens if I get carried away by my desires, and what happens to me. That whole reasoning is given here in this two shlokas, in this pair of shlokas. And so that's how Shankara also introduces these two verses. So let's look into that. So it talks about, so finally if you look at the first word, it is dhyayatah vishayan, dwelling over objects, vishaya, things, people. And towards the end, if you look at it, buddhi nashat pranashyati. Pranashyati, the person gets destroyed. So that's how we are going to start from there and then end up here. So desire. This kama, desire is there. I desire so many things. One desires so many things. But nobody desires anything for the sake of that thing. This we talked about earlier. And things, we can easily understand that statement. Any object, any inanimate object. So the house onwards, so my computer and all these things are there. I love these things. but none of those is liked for the sake of that object. That object is indifferent. Whether I like it or I don't like it, it doesn't matter to that object. I like it for my sake only. But what about people? I love people, my parents, my children, my husband, wife, all these things we love. We have love all these people. There's so many loved ones we have. That's why they say loved ones. Why do I like them? Why do I love them? The question is, do I love them for their sake or do I love them for my sake? So it's a bit a harsh question, and in the sense it makes you wonder. And no, I love him for his own sake. Means what? If I don't love him, he gets upset. She gets upset. Is that the meaning or what? Is that the way it is? No, that's not the way it is. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. We saw this earlier. Atmanastu kamaya. Yajnavalkya reminds Maitreyi. Hey, we love, anything we love is for our own sake alone. Our sake alone. We love that person because that person makes me happy. As simple as that. And the minute they don't make me happy, day after day after day in after day out, then I consider looking for a lawyer. So that's what happens. Why? That shows very clearly that I love her because she makes me happy. It's very obvious. Otherwise, there would be no separation. So, here Krishna is saying, you have been meditating on so many things on this world. You have been meditating on so many people. It's time to meditate on yourself. And so this is where I think I mentioned it in that one of the friends said, "Oh, it's our anniversary, and after so many years, after 40 years, I have not understood her," like that he says. And people like me cannot keep quiet with these kinds of statements. So I wrote back. I said, have you thought about this? Is marriage meant for understanding the other person or understanding yourself? This is what I told him. Just put a question mark there. And so I didn't get a response. I hope he didn't get upset. That because it was said in a group, it was said. And so this coming back to oneself, so important. And so I in my life experience so many objects. Day after day, my whole life is full of liking, not liking, interacting with objects. And when that interaction happens, there is a new thing, new person I met, the new object, never seen before. And when I see that, then what happens? After the encounter is over, with the object is over. So I met a person, first time I met, and it's over. 10 minutes, that's all. I come back. And then what? The memory is there. Oh, there was a nice conversation. And he's boy, what an interesting person he is. This is after 1 week, okay? And boy, I cannot. What all he talked about, and etc. So like this, the memory is there. Brings back. The encounter is over, but the memory is there. Good memories, bad memories, everything comes back. Okay. So dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Okay. Vishayan means objects. Objects means includes people. Anything in this world is a vishaya. And dhyayataha, the person dwells on an object, directs the mind towards the object. So for that person, what happens? Sangaha teshu upajayate. Sangaha. Swamiji uses the word, an attachment is born. A connection is born. Connection happens. Previously, I didn't know the person. And then now I begin to think about that person periodically. Person can be anything. Person's mannerism, person's dress, anything can attract us. Person's looks, and so anything. Person's hair, anything can attract our attention, and we can spend time on that thing. So Vishaya means don't think objects. Even so many attributes of that one person is enough for me to spend time on meditating. This is what I meditate every day, by looking at people and thinking about people, right? So sangaha teshu upajayate. In those objects which I have experienced just a little, an attachment is born. A connection is born. Now it's no longer a remote object, it has entered my mind. Correct? It has entered my mind. So it can be pleasing, it can be not pleasing also. Unpleasant also enters my mind, because in that conversation I got hurt. So unpleasant experience, and that memory lingers and lingers and lingers. Correct? So pleasant or unpleasant, both has entered my mind. And then what? And then sangat sanjayate kamaha. So he uses the word sanga, then he's using the word kama. So a love is there. And now the love is there, and now it can be an object, it can be a person. Now I want to possess it. I want to come near it. I want the object to come near me. If it is an object, I want to possess. Any type of possession. I want to buy, I want to do this, whatever. Possession. If it is a person, what? Person also I want to possess. That also is possible. So that's how all these things start. So I want to be closer to that person. Correct? Yeah, sorry. So possession. See, look at that. Initially, just an object. And then after some time, some connection is there, some attachment is established. Then the object is well set in my mind, and then I want to possess it. I want to have more of it. Let's put it that way. Need not be possession. I want to have more of that experience, that object, that person. Okay. And so sangat sanjayate kamaha. There Krishna uses the word kamaha. And this is the technique people use, right? Which people? The minute you turn on the TV, you don't know if you are watching the show or you're watching the advertisement. That's how it is these days. Which one is longer? Suppose somebody asks the question. Somebody is speaking, you are desired to listen to that person. Is that person speaking for longer time, or are the advertisements speaking to you? The marketing agents, are they speaking to you for longer? Why? Because they want to hook you. They want to put all these ideas in your mind. You never had these ideas. You never had a desire. You never had a desire for a car, because you're happy. The bus is perfect, and in this particular city, bus transportation is there, and there are a lot of private buses too. So there is no question of crowd, etc. And it's affordable, and frequency is good. You never had a desire. Then comes all these advertisements, and these cars look fantastic. My God, and they look like planes. At least the way they show it, shining and all that. and they make it in such a way that now you're watching it. Not once, then second day again the same ad comes, third day again the same advertisement comes. Now you know all about this car, and it make a company everything you know, and then a desire comes to possess it. The karma has developed. This is what they want. This is how they hook you into all these things. Marketing is such an important subject. I don't mean to judge the field and all that. There are many people who are into marketing, but I have fun with them sometimes. Vedanta is opposite of marketing, and we marketing is what? Trying to sell your product. No, Jaykumarji, no, what's wrong? You got to sell your product, right? Otherwise, how will these things sell? And how do you sell your product? Tell me how you sell your product. You praise it so much. It'll do this, it'll do that. Is that all true or what? Will you buy the product? If somebody were to sell it to you? These are all tough questions. You should not have this argument with a salesperson. And you just look at it objectively. But anyway, so this is how all these things come. And Swamiji talks about this junk mail. In America, there is something called junk mail. Here also there is some junk mail, but it is not the quantity of junk mail in India is very less compared to America. America, when you open your mailbox, you have to be careful. You know why? Because that one letter that you're expecting may be hiding somewhere, and you have to open all these reams of paper and make sure your precious letter is not lost. That's how it is. Junk mail means the mailboxes are flooded with junk mail. But I tell you, you think it is junk mail. The person who sent it does not think it is junk mail. Okay, it is precious mail. Precious mail. All these beautiful glossy images that are there. And it is done for a purpose. It's not junk mail, my dear. It's very precious. And so somehow, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. He knows this. Those people know this very well. This Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Sangasteshu Upajayate. Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. The desire to go on a cruise has happened now. Now nobody can stop it. Now everybody in the family is discussing about this. They're not talking about whether to go on a cruise or not. They are talking about which cruise liner they should go with. Which place to go. So now all this cruise idea that's a whole topic. We are going for sure. Where should we go? How should we go? This is the only question. That's it. The junk mail has done its job or not? It's done its job. So this is how it works. So now the kama has come. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. The desire to possess it, to reach that place, whatever that desire is there, and that desire must be fulfilled. Correct? We don't have a desire just for tamasha. It's all boring, pandemic. So let's keep on having some desires, and then that's not the desires. Kama. So desires come, and then it is meant to be fulfilled. Otherwise, there is no need for a desire. Desires just go away. They're all just fancies, come and go. But this desire has become a kama. Okay, then what? Now, when it has become a kama, I have to deal with it. Correct? I can't ignore this kama. It has not become ignorable. Previously, it was ignorable, if I can use that word. And it was just a thing in this world, another one of those many things. And the person was just like many of the people, billions of people in the world, one other person. Now it has become something, it has become kama. Level has reached, kama level has come. And so I have to deal with it. If I can still say, no, I think I got carried away. I don't think we really need a car. Do we need a car? Huh? You have a motorcycle, you're happy with that. You're taking the bus to work, you're happy with that. What about all the shopping we need to do? Do we need a car? No, I think we've got, the shopping areas are all quite near. The other big shopping once a month we do, whatever. And that we can take a taxi. That's also good. Or we can go by bus. We've been managing quite well actually. Do we need this vehicle now? Can be possible. So karma also okay. And I can, using my mind, I can have a mastery over it. Now, don't take it wrong. I'm not saying you should not buy something, etc. Just to give an example, to see how this desire progresses, is what we're talking about. So then he is going to talk about, because the desire has to be fulfilled. Not every desire can be fulfilled, unfortunately. Despite we being the most evolved species, human being means not ordinary people. And despite that, not every desire need be fulfilled. Every desire need not be fulfilled, but the desires I want to pursue need not get fulfilled. Therefore, what happens? Kamat krodho bhi jayate. Krodha. Krishna uses the word krodha here. Krodha. Why krodha? Anger. Krodha means anger. Because I'm not going to simply give up. And I'm going to keep putting effort in order to achieve, in order to fulfill this desire. And so, anything that is going to stop me, anything that comes in the way, is going to be a target of my anger. Anger is targeted at whom? At that which obstructs the object of my desire. That is why this Hindi movies, Tamil movies, our Indian movies run very well. And so this hero is there and the heroine is there, and so they go after, there's a lot of songs and all that, and then the villain has to step in. The villain is not there means, what kind of movie is this? Very masala hona chahiye bhaiya. Some gunshots should be there, some dushum, all this punching should be there, and otherwise no movie. It's not no in Indian movies are made without all this. And so that masala has to be there. So krodha, so that person becomes the villain who comes in between the hero and the heroine. Correct? So kamat krodho bhi jayate. So this continues, and he's going to explain more. And let's continue this discussion in the next class. Yeah, it's already 7:32 here. So what did we see? Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. The person who dwells on objects, things, people, then an attachment is born, and sangat sanjayate kamaha. And from that sanga, and when it is dwelled on over further and further, then it becomes kama. Kama, a desire that needs to be fulfilled. Then kamat krodho bijayate. From that kama comes anger. That is what we saw today. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.